thanks to the support as a channel member, Felix Schwer. Yeah, I know it builds tension for the episode if you withhold the budgets from me and reveal them in a minute. But you remember I'm a man with high blood pressure. We've qualified for the Champions League. I'd love to know how much we're getting to spend, and I'd love for it to be a proper Champions League budget. In another world, I've managed in the Premier League, and you get like a £70 million transfer budget your first year in the Champions League. Hello? Hello and welcome to part 49 of the Greek Odyssey. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have our season review and transfer special off the back of the greatest season in the history of Apollon Smyrnis. We won the league and we got through to the final of the Europa League. We might have lost that, as you can see here. We might have lost that, but you know what? It doesn't matter. We won the league and we got to the final. That's going to have a huge impact on our UEFA coefficients as we continue to grow the Greek league in general, to try and get to the point where not only we can win the Champions League with Apollon, but also win the World Cup with Greece. It is the Euros this summer. Greece are there. So in addition to the season review and transfer special stuff, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on how Greece get on in the Euros, and hoping they flop, the manager gets sacked and I can take over. Or I guess we hope they win it and then he retires, and then we know we've got a great Greece side that I can go in and manage, and we can win the World Cup in 2 years, win the Champions League in 2 years, bish, bash, bosh, done by 2026. No one saw that coming. That seems unlikely, though. That seems pretty unlikely. But we have a bunch of this stuff coming through, so we'll have a look at some of this first. So this is confirmation that Marola won the Europa League Golden Boot, which is a fantastic achievement for a player at a club like Apollon. Damien with the third place spot as well, and Fabio Silva for Tottenham. They won the thing. It's only fair they get some of the plaudits. This is the Europa League Team of the Year as well. In fact, this is just Apollon and Tottenham players. It's like it's a team of the final, but this is the squad of the season. Lawson, Duffy, Bozic and Damien all making it into the squad of the season. No room for Marola, which seems a little bit harsh as he was the top scorer in the whole tournament. But Tottenham clearly had a really rather nice time in the Europa League. We've got contracts that we need to... We'll fiddle with contracts in a minute. I mean, he's obviously going to get a new one. So, in fact, should we just give him his new contract? Because I'll forget if we move on. Yeah, have a new deal. There you go. The rest of you will just do that. That's all already being dealt with. That's being dealt with. This is the main event, though. This is what we want to see. We ended the season with £11 million in transfer budget, or like £10.5 million transfer budget left over from all the business we'd done last season. I'm hoping that they stick another 10 million in on top. I want at least £20 million. If we were an English team in the Champions League, we'd want 40, 50 million plus. I suspect they're just going to leave me with the 10.5 million that I had before and pretend it's a new budget, even though it's one that I generated for myself. Let's have a little look. We have something somewhere in between 13.6 million and 350,000 as wage budget. So it's a significant increase in wage budget as well. So we can potentially put the wage budget up to 600,000 if we don't sign anyone on big transfers, or we could take the transfer budget up to 17 million if we didn't need new wages. So, I mean, it's something to work with. It's not, we're not going to go and win the Champions League this year on that kind of budget, but I guess the important thing is it's going to leave us still with money in the bank at the end of the season. And we've obviously got Champions League money coming in now. The Europa League money for the last couple of years has been very significant. If we have a look at competition prize money is what I'm looking for. There you go, prize money. This season, we made £15 million from the Europa League. We made £6 million the year before getting knocked out in the group stage. But I think you get 10 million flat fee just for getting into the Champions League groups, and then you build from there. So yes, we're probably going to get knocked out in the group stage, but we're probably going to be making that kind of money again. And if we can keep qualifying for it, that kind of income each year, that starts to accumulate, and eventually our budgets start to increase. So that is what we're hoping for. Right, can we extend these loans yet? That's priority number one for the summer. Can we extend the loans? They're looking to give him a chance in the first team. So cancel offer, Hope they don't remember that he's got a recall clause, as all of these players have. I think that's what we're going to run into with everybody. They've all got recall clauses, but they're all here until the end of next season at the moment. Yeah. This is going to be the final season for the boys that are in on loan, I think. We're actually going to have to start doing things properly. Can we extend Pritchard for another year? Nope. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. So Pritchard's not even going to be back next season, so we need a left-back this summer. Top priority. Marola, I imagine Milan. Yeah, we can't even make him a loan offer for some reason. I don't even know why. That's a weird one. Damien, we've already tried. So, yeah, we're in the final season of the loans for Lawson, Marola, Damien. Duffy is the other one who I guess, you never know, we might be able to. No. Oh. So we not only do we need to build a team for the Champions League, we have to start building for a future where we're going to lose these boys who've been so instrumental in getting us where we are. Going to be tricky. Going to be really tricky. So here we go with the season review stuff. Then this is our new all-time best 11. So Brunoli in goal, who 32 years old now. He's had a lovely season playing in Qatar, presumably earning a lot of money as well. It's more than he was earning here. But then the rest of the team should be all players who are currently, in fact, it's not. There's Giannoutzos, who's now playing for Zanti and played 15 games for them this year. Sfarnas, who left us to go to Real Zaragoza. He's played a full season in the second division over in Spain. And then I think the rest of the team are all current players. Lawson, Calapitas, Lebreu, Androutsos and Duffy, Jura, Marola and Damien. Very familiar look around it. Of course, it's the best 11 because it's the best team in the club's history. End of season awards. Damien winning player of the year with a landslide, 73% of the vote. Jura in second, Duffy in third. Goal of the season goes to Marola. So let's have, it's going to be a Marola special, isn't it? The fact he's got a goal named after him, the Marola special, absolutely goal of the year is going to be a Marola special. He's picked this up in his own half. He is running towards goal with it, and in a minute he's going to hit it really hard. There you go, a Marola special. Signing of the season is Jura, who comes in on a free, became our captain. He was obviously here on loan the year before. I can get on board with that. And Damien gets young player of the year as well. Still only 20 years old, Damien. If we do manage to keep hold of him for another year, might even become homegrown at club, which will be interesting for a few years down the line when we have got a big pile of cash to spend. So team of the season should pretty much be the team that played in the final, just with Duffy added into it. Mendy in goal, back four of Pritchard, Michaelis, Lawson and Juan, Lebreu at the base of the midfield, Bozic and Duffy in central midfield, Jura, Damien, Marola up front. So Michaelis is joining us permanently this summer. That's already arranged. Bozic is obviously already our player, as is Lebreu and Jura, in fact. But we are going to have to replace Damien, Marola and Duffy and Lawson. They all leave at the end of next year, unless they record this summer. Pritchard leaves this summer. So there's certainly much that needs doing transfer-wise. Top scorer was Damien on 37 goals. He also got the best average rating. Just couldn't do it against Olympiacos. Most assists, 21 assists for Jura. Best pass completion is Mendy. Damien, of course, winning most man of the match awards as well. And Calapitas is part of a naughty boys club that also includes Lebreu, Kouame and Pritchard. Season review is we overachieved. We were awesome. And the club vision stuff, I want to get rid of that sign high-profile players nonsense. We are a youth development team. We've added build new stadium into this 5-year plan, which I hope means bigger stadium. It still hasn't been clarified. And they want us to continue to maintain the best youth system in the country and work within budgets. But I think we can cope with both of those. This season, we're improving training, youth facilities and data analysis facilities. And Mrs Wearmouth's looking for a top 3 finish and Champions League first preliminary round. Tell me I've not misunderstood. If we've got to do the Champions League preliminary rounds, I'll be gutted. I think we go straight into the group. And she's just looking for us to maintain a top 3 finish for the next 5 years, which again, I reckon I can achieve. But I am now worried about this Champions League situation. I got myself all comfortable thinking we're going to have an easy summer. Androutsos, Marola and Jura are our team leaders. Androutsos is currently unhappy at the club. And I think if we get a decent offer in for Androutsos this summer, we'll let him go. Right, let's talk about finishing top 3. That makes everybody happy. End of season break. Training squad. Training destination is going to be Austria. An offer for Juan, which we're going to turn down because we don't want to let him go, especially because we're losing Pritchard. So at the moment, Juan's going to be our starting right back next year with Calapitas at left back. Hopefully, that's not how we start the season, but it's certainly how the squad is shaping up at the moment. So we can't let Juan leave just yet. And now I guess we're going to wait until the 1st of July, see what freebies we can get, and then look to plug the gaps with players from our youth setup, players that we're going to spend some of this big budget on, and loans, and see if we can put together a squad that can compete in the Champions League this coming year. Well, I guess I can stop going on about the poxy little ground that Mrs Wearmouth. Get her on the phone. Mrs Wearmouth, what have you been up to? Construction of Apollon Stadium. This is costing you 38 million. How many garlic breads have you had to sell? Get 38 million pounds together. Thank you for this new ground, Mrs. I'm going to read it through without you because I can't read and listen to you at the same time. But much appreciated. Thank you, Mrs. Wearmouth. Let's get some thank you, Mrs. Wearmouth, down in the comments. Absolutely sensational. Apollon Stadium is going to cost 38 million. Obviously, that's going to be not named that. We'll come up with a name for it. Suggestions. It's going to take 3 years to build, which I guess I can understand. We're selling the Georgios Kamaras for 2.7 million. It's going to be a fancy ground. No external funding needed. Additional funding for the project has been secured with a stadium sponsorship of 19 million. So hold on, has Mrs. Wearmouth just done this out of pocket because we haven't lost any balance? We haven't taken on a loan. Mrs. Wearmouth's just stuck her hands in her pockets for 38 million quid. What an absolute hero that woman is. Staying in Athens, capacity of 23,570. So we are improving our capacity. Grass, no roof, undersoil heating. Going to take 3 years to build. So we've got 3 more years at the Georgios Kamaras. And then we move into this absolute beauty. That has eased some of the worries that I had about having to move into a poxy little ground. It shows that you can change their mind after they've already committed to one ground. So yeah, we've moved past the planning permission stage. We are officially due to move into it on that date with the 10-year stadium sponsorship as well. We've just leveled up as a club again, boys and girls. This is massively significant. So there's confirmation that the youth and training facilities are being upgraded too. I mean, we're already reaching a point now with this club. We've only been here 5 years. They ain't going back to being a Super League 2 side anytime soon, even if I was to leave today, because of the infrastructure off the pitch, because of this. This is huge. Mendy's been called up internationally. Duffy's fit again. Hazard. There's your confirmation that Damien's broken our goal scoring record. Dura's broken the assists record. Damien broke the man of the match record. Mendy broke the clean sheet record. Androutsos wants to go to Maccabi Tel Aviv. They're going to have to pay more than that for him. I want like £7.5–8 million for him to go there. So let's see if they come in for that. I mean, there's the confirmation that we're off to Austria. That training ground news, amazing. Is there anything else we can ask the board for while they're in such good form? I mean, it's worth a try, isn't it? We're reevaluating shortly. Yeah, that means go away. We're not going to talk to you. They never reevaluate when they say they're going to reevaluate, but I can't criticise Mrs. Wearmouth at all because of that. Because of that. I know I said come up with suggestions for the stadium name yourself. None of you are going to beat the spaghetti bowl that I've just come up with. You might as well not bother. If you can do better than the spaghetti bowl, I'll thumbs up your comment. Now, there's a treat for you. Right, here is the European coefficients table thing, which we can look at them properly in a second, but this is the important stuff. So we've moved up to 9th best league in the world, overtaking Turkey. That'll go down well. So Champions League places have gone up to 1 group stage team, and now we go into the runners up, going to the best place 3rd qualifying round. So that's moved forward. So we are in the group stages. So that's the change. The only change is we've moved. The 2nd place team is now going straight into the 3rd qualifying round. So here's the coefficients. There you go. We're in 9th place. So Yeah, it's these last two seasons with us and Olympiacos really pushing things forward. The last few seasons. I mean, coefficient-wise, we're actually on a better average than the Netherlands. Oh, okay. So that's the coefficient for this coming season. For the following season, assuming we don't absolutely bottle it, we'll go above the Netherlands next season. So that's taken into account what that next taking these averages out. So Holland had a good year in 1920, but haven't done since. So we could potentially. We have a good season this year because we're also above Russia and we're very close to Portugal. If we have a good Champions League run, we could potentially, as a nation, move up to 6th behind England, Spain, Italy, Germany and France and be the 6th league, which would be enormous. The good news keeps rolling in. Ousmane Traoré, who we signed last summer, has just been named best player at the French Youth Invitational, also top goal scorer at the French Youth Invitational, 4 goals from 3 appearances. This is the guy who's 6'6" but less than 14 stone. He's quite slimly built, but he's been out on loan at Panathinaikos for the second half of this season. Hasn't been fantastic there, but got 3 goals from 8 starts. But he's had a fantastic Youth Invitational for France. Still only 20 years old. He might be one of the people who steps up to fill the Marola and Damien-shaped void that is going to be created. Yes, it's good to see him winning awards. And now Bozic can speak good Greek. So he's going to become an even better player for us this year. Already averaged to 7.15. Bozic is just going to get better and better and better. So much good news. Something drastic's about to go wrong. I'm sure of it. So we've made it through to the 1st of July. The media have absolutely no concept of what our transfer budget is. Linking this with the big deal of the summer, we're not spending £11 million on one player, no matter how good he is. I mean, he would be fantastic for us, but not a chance am I spending £11 million on him. That would be pretty much our entire budget in one go. Our loan players are back though, and the ones that aren't going to be here this season have gone. So we can have a little look at what our squad currently looks like. As it stands right now, we do still have the big 4 loans still in the club, but they can be recalled at any moment. It's going to be a terrifying summer building a team around this lot who could be called back at any time. I will regularly see if I can tie them down to loan deals that don't include recall options as well. But you can see, based on what we've got, we don't need a striker. Damien, Marola and Kwame will be fine for the coming season. Dura on the left, we could probably do with someone else coming in on the right. In midfield, we've got Duffy, Bozic and Androutsos. Labru and Chirivella as the defensive midfielders. And then Lawson, new boy Parola, who's just... Oh, he's not actually here yet. He's still officially at Manchester City, but will join us any moment. He's coming in on a free transfer from Manchester City. What's his face? Michaelis joins us permanently as well. We've obviously still got Kios knocking around. Mendy as the goalkeeper. We have to add the 2 stars on to get some of the players that we've been a little bit more used to throughout the save, but it does give us an idea of who we might want to move on, the likes of Capone, Etebo. Paniolius needs game time this year. He went out on loan. It hasn't really done him much good. He's come back as a 2-star current ability player. He's still got 5-star potential. I say he needs game time. Realistically, he needs a loan that actually helps him. And that one hasn't really helped him this year, but he's not going to get in our team on only 2-star current ability. So we'll probably look to loan him out again. Singh will probably look to move on permanently. He's been away on loan all year, and I just can't imagine him getting back into our team. So Singh can move on. We've obviously got Kios, who... Kios is a difficult one, because if we are serious about building Greek football, he needs game time, and he's going to be our 4th choice centre-back. So he ain't going to get it with us. So maybe we need to move Kios on. In fact, should we have a look to see how Greece are getting on in the Euros? Are they still in it? They're into the quarter-final. He ain't getting sacked, is he, this manager? Off the back of a quarter-final, it's just whether or not he decides to move on. How long has he been in the role? He's been there 5 years. Hopefully, he'll decide he wants to move on after the tournament, but he's certainly not getting sacked, which that's going to be troublesome. I was hoping that would be my route in, but Greece doing well at the Euros. And then there's a couple of fringe players that we're going to look to move on. I mean, we can look in here, the likes of Magnani, who came in last summer. We've never played him. He's not going to play ever. We need to move him on, get him out of here. So we're going to clear out some deadwood, look to bring in some trials as usual, and then really take stock of where the squad is at. But my initial reaction is we need width. We need a couple of wingers, at least 3 fullbacks, and then just a little bit of depth to replace 2.5 star players that are likely to be moving on. Right, first batch of transfers are done. As you can see, Miner did complete his £3.7 million meal deal. He went on a meal deal to Sampoli, and Magnani went to Ike for 275,000. We've sold a Tabo, £3.7 million. He's gone to Frankfurt. Chirivella's gone to Huddersfield for 2.5 million, and Capone's gone to Crotone for 1.9 million. So 12 million pounds of a players out. We've got 3 free transfers and a left back. 2 of them you already knew about, Michaelis and Peroda, the 2 new centre backs. Madi Camara is a new central midfielder. Ghanaian international. Guinean, not Ghana, Guinea. Guinean? Is that how you would say that? Natural box-to-box midfielder, can also play in the defensive midfield position as well. He's a 3.5 star current ability player. Better than Lebrou as a defensive midfielder. As good as Duffy and Bozic as a central midfielder. Huge upgrade in central midfield. He's previously of Olympiacos. They sold him for £6.75 million to Nice. He's been there 4 years. They released him. He's back in Greece, but for the new big club in Greece. And then the other signing is Adrian Pinheiro, who's our new left back. Argentinian under-20 international. He's 21 years old. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential ability left back. He's a very attacking left back. He's really a left midfielder. But that is our left back problem fixed. We've not really had a permanent left back. Pritchard did a decent job last year, but this is the first real proper left back we've had of the save. I guess we had Giannoutsos, who was okay for his time, but we quickly outgrew him. Whereas this guy, I imagine, sticks with us long term, or we end up selling him for big money at some point. Massive potential. Has been at River Plate. We've managed to bring in our first South American signing, or at least first big money signing from South America. We did try and bring in a couple of other players, but were caught up in a bit of a problem of so many wage budget offers being made at the same time before sales had gone through. And we ended up, Rabbi from Liverpool, who we were looking at before, the winger, we didn't pay 11 million. We offered 7.5 and they accepted it. But then we could only offer him 1,500 in salary. And now he won't discuss terms with us. So that deal has fallen through. There was a right back that fell through in a similar way, and another free transfer central midfielder. So it's not an ideal start to the window, but it is only the 8th of July. And if we bump this back up to 3 stars again, you can see that we are now slowly but surely putting a squad together. We definitely still need a right back. We definitely still need a right winger. But the midfield is looking good. I'm happy to sell Singh and probably Androutsos now with Camara coming in. We have got a young up-and-coming central midfielder who is... How do we find him? I don't come around these parts very often. The youth academy are very confused that Kev's here. What's this all about? This guy, Stavros Goufas, is the first actual central midfielder who's come through our youth system. He's 18 now. He's got 5-star potential. I'm not against him being the 4th choice central midfielder for this season. Bearing in mind, Lebrou can play there. Michaelis can cover at defensive midfielder. So with Duffy, Bozic and Camara here, I think I'll move on Androutsos and Singh. That could potentially bring in somewhere between probably 6 and 10 million pounds that can then be reinvested. Goufas moves up, and then we start reinvesting that in the wide areas, both defensively and up front. That's the current plan. So next batch of transfers is complete. I can't remember where we got to with the outs. The big news, I think we got as far as Simic. So the big news is Androutsos has gone to Empoli for £3 million, and Kouame's gone to Fenerbahce for £5 million. So bringing another £8 million into the kitty. We're on 95% retained transfer spensies, which is why we're able to have such a wheeler dealing summer. We also had a £7 million offer for Chios, which I accepted, but he turned down. But he's our 4th choice centre-back. He's Greek. I want him playing football. If we get that kind of offer for him again, we'll definitely take it. We also have Mark Tracy, who is out on loan at the moment, but he's now 21 years old. And if he's ever going to make it, it's time for him to be our fourth choice centre-back. So I'm not actively trying to sell Kios because I love him a bit. But if we get another big offer for him, we'll accept it just like we did the last one. So players that have been in since we were last together. First one, Pedro de la Vega. If I can actually click on him. He's a 23-year-old Argentinian former under-20 international, right or left winger. We've brought him in to play on the right, but he's probably better as an inside forward or an inverted winger on the left, but we have plenty on the left. So he'll be providing competition for Marola on the right. Marola, by the way, he's now considered a natural inside forward and not quite as good as a striker. So I'm kind of taking Marola out of my thoughts as a striker. He is one of my right wingers. Pedro de la Vega is another one. And we brought in another left winger because he's 18 and looks like he's going to be awesome. Claudio Sanchez, 18 years old, current under-20 international. Yes, that means he's directly competing with Paniolius, but they're both five-star potential. Let them compete. Paniolius needs to go out on loan this season, and in fact, we probably need to make that happen. So let's offer him out for loan, go get him some football, and I think the days might be numbered for Jura with so many left wingers around. He's still going to be around this year, but maybe not too far beyond that. We've then got Bruno Rafael, who's another left back. We needed two. This guy's 18 years old, so he can be the backup to Pinheiro, who was the first one to come in. Five-star potential, Brazilian left back. What more could I want, really? It's an 18-year-old Brazilian. That's what I'm talking about. We've also brought in a new goalkeeper, Axel Werner, who's 28-year-old Argentinian, one under-20 cap from many moons ago. He's just a much better goalkeeper than Mendy, a leading Super League player. And if we're going to be taking the Champions League seriously, we needed to upgrade our goalkeeper. And in our continued Argentinian raid, Nicolas Cordoba is a 23-year-old Argentinian, former under-20 international. He's a natural Mazzala or central midfielder. He's exactly the kind of midfielder you know I like to sign. My long-term future, I think, is Bozic and Cordoba as our central midfield. Obviously, Duffy's still going to be in there this year, unless he's recalled. But we have now started to add a few more bodies in there. We still have money to spend, albeit not as much as we had before, because we've spent some. That's how transfer budgets work. I'd like a striker, I think, if we have a look at our team report and just see what we've got now. We've got Werner, Mendy and the two youngsters in goal. Absolutely fine there. Pinheiro as our first choice left back. Bruno Rafael as a backup. Calapitas and Juan can both play there as well. Lawson, Michaelis, Parola, Kios, Calapitas, all as options at centre-back. Fine there, unless we find a star to partner Lawson. And I say partner him this year, take over from him next year. Calapitas and Juan at right-back. I'd like to bring in like a 3.5, 4-star right-back over the top of these two, but such a thing doesn't seem to exist and we're running out of money. So I don't mind going with Calapitas for another year. He's never let us down. 121 games for the club now. Always plays well. Always winning awards as well. He's constantly winning like Super League Talent of the Year, third place. He's won that twice. He's been in Team of the Year, that kind of thing. So Calapitas, I think, isn't an essential replacement, but if we find a good one, we will. And we've got Lebrou and Camara and Michaelis. I mean, everyone can play defensive midfield. Lebrou's going to be my starter there. He needs to start fulfilling some of this potential. I'm not really sure what more I can do with Lebrou. He's 21 years old. He's already played 5 times for Greece. He's already played over 100 times for us. He's got 3-star current ability, still showing 4.5-star potential, but we have training facilities as good as we can afford to get them. So our training facilities, I guess they're only average. We upgrade them as much as we can, but he's playing football. He might get better, he might not. I don't really know what more we can do to push his development forward other than keep playing him, which we'll do for at least another year. And then very good central midfield options, completely justifying selling Androutsos and Singh. Duffy, Bozic, Cordoba, Camara, all in there as options. Very happy with that. And on the left-hand side, we've got Jura and Sanchez are kind of my two, I'm thinking. Obviously, De La Vegas can play there as well. And on this side, Marola, De La Vegas are the two that I'm thinking over there, which means up front at the moment, all we've got is Damien, Marola if he has to, and young Kieran Blavins, who I don't mind having as my third choice striker this year. He was out on loan last year and scored 8 goals in 21 games in this league. That's not a disaster in a poor team. So he's my third choice striker for this year, but I don't want Marola as the second choice. Marola is my winger. So with our final £7 million, We need to go and find a striker, not only to compete with Damien this year, but realistically to be in a position to take over from him next year. Boys and girls, I think we are done. If we head back to the transfer page, main news is Kios has gone. 3.7 million rising to 5.25 million. He's gone to Ascoli. He's going to go and play in Serie B, which really doesn't bode well for his future as a Greek international. But what was I going to do? It's all that wanted him. He certainly wasn't going to play at all for us. At least he's got a chance to work his way up in Greece now. In Greece, we're in Greece, in Italy. Greece got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Euros, but the manager didn't lose his job, which is sad. But what's less sad is the future of Greek football, which is if we can find the European Under-19 Championships. That's the wrong one. What I was trying to show you, they finished runners-up. Greece Under-19s were runners-up for the second time in 6 years. So the future is bright for Greek football, and hopefully I'll be able to jump in and make the most of that when the time comes. So lots of youngsters out on loan. Kios has left permanently. And we've brought in a couple more players. John Ramirez is just a youngster who's just got potential, so don't read too much into him. But we have our striker that we were looking for, Carlos Feliciano. Feliciano, let me know down in the comments how you say his name. 21-year-old Portuguese under-21 international. He's been off at the Olympics with Ryan Lawson, which is always good fun. He's a 3-star current ability, 5-star potential striker. He's the Kev prototype. He's a fast, advanced forward. It's what I want. He's been playing for Parma in Serie A last season. Got 8 goals from 19 starts in Serie A last year. Previously of Ajax and Napoli as well. He's cost us... How much did he cost us? It wasn't a lot of money. £5.5 million. We've also signed Paolo Baldi on loan for 2 years. This guy, we tried to sign him permanently when he was leaving Juventus. We had a deal all lined up, but he just, in the end, chose to go to Roma. So we immediately put in a loan offer for 2 years. They've accepted it. He's a 5-star potential centre-back. He's going to be our 4th choice centre-back this season, which is what allowed us to sell Kios. And I'm hoping he can eventually be the one who steps into the shoes of Ryan Lawson when he leaves at the end of the season, and we try and get Baldi permanently again. On the subject of loans, we were able to extend Marola's loan. He's back in on a 2-year loan again. The others are all going to be leaving at the end of this season, though, but at least Marola is going to get 2 more years. And this guy is someone that my youth guy signed, Antoine German, who's a 5-star potential left winger, who's not going to get anywhere near the team this year. But I'm not going to argue. Let the youth guy sign a player every now and again. We've still got a positive bank balance, still got money left in both budgets. The projection isn't looking as healthy as it could, but remember that doesn't include prize money yet. And in tomorrow's episode, you're going to see a big bunch of Champions League money come in as it gets confirmed that we're in the group stages of the Champions League, even though we know we already are. But we're going to wrap that video up there. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. Thank you very much for watching.